Jaclyn Bubnell, and I was a biochemistry and molecular biology major here at Wells, and I graduated in the class of 2011. I came here thinking I was going to be pre-vet, so I started taking those courses, the pre-health series of courses, and then I realized that I really liked the science aspect of biology and not necessarily the idea of practicing with people. And I really liked the faculty and that they started to get to know me. It was after sophomore year and taking genetics and ecology and evolution and organic chemistry that I was really like, okay, I want to do research. The courses basically stayed the same, but I just explored internship opportunities outside of Wells, as well as taking part in research at Wells and using that to like supplement the coursework here. You can take all the science coursework here that you want, but in reality, you're not going to remember all of that stuff by the time you get to grad school. But the breadth of courses that you can take here and the non-science courses that can really practice your writing skills and communication skills, I think that's really important for like research-heavy careers, and we need more people who can think like that. When you take all these liberal arts courses, that's what you're thinking about. It's like, whatever I'm doing now, how is that going to affect other people? And being able to bring that into science and then make it more relatable to the general public is something that I think science really needs right now. We have a lot of really talented people, but there's something missing from going from the research to talking to the general public about it. And I think more people with liberal arts educations can really help bridge that gap. And so keeping that in mind and not just like focusing on those science courses, I think makes you a much better candidate for graduate school and just being a scientist in general. When people were like, so what is it like going to a small school? What is it like going to a liberal arts college and majoring in biochemistry and molecular biology? I just remember all of these labs that I would do where we'd be out in streams wearing fishing waders, collecting, bugs from the water, or out on the floating classroom in the lake sampling water. Other students at universities are like, yeah, we had a lab and we, went through this thing at the bench, but they didn't like get out there and try things. And to be doing something for a lab that also really mattered for the faculty, that was like, you could see that and you could see their passion, and that was really motivating. That was something special that I don't think that people get in very many other places. When I was getting ready to graduate my senior year, I realized I wanted to do more research before deciding where I wanted to go to grad school and what I wanted to actually study in grad school. So I knew I wanted to get my Ph.D., but that's a 5.5, 6-year commitment, and I wanted to make sure that I was going to be working on something I really cared about. So I did an internship at Hunter College while I was at Wells, and I contacted the faculty member that I was working with there, and he was like, yeah, I could hire you as a research assistant in the lab for a couple years, and you can work on the project that you had started while you were an intern. I was like, oh, that would be awesome. So I went back to that intern advisor, and I worked in his lab studying more like molecular biology and the olfactory system. So we were really interested in trying to figure out how do our odorant receptors in our olfactory neurons detect the different odors in the environment. I also really remembered from the coursework that I took here, I was really inspired by evolutionary questions. So after a couple years of thinking really about how I could incorporate molecular biology and evolution and genetics together, I started applying for grad programs in genetics and molecular biology and focusing on universities that had like evolution staff. That couple of years of learning what it was like to work in a lab and do research and how it feels to not actually figure out the answers most of the time and just maybe learn something new or uncover 10 more questions, that was really important before going to grad school, because you're going to get that a lot in grad school. So that preparation was really key. I grew up on Long Island. It's very populated, can be sort of impersonal at times, not as community oriented, and I'm also a first-generation college student, so my parents, they told me I could be whatever I wanted to be, and they were there to support me, but they weren't always able to tell me how to do it and how I should prepare to do it. So it was a big shock coming to college, let alone coming to college in a really small, isolated place. So it was a hard adjustment to know that I'm going to see the same people every day, and I'm being asked really like academically rigorous tasks, and my brain has to be on, and I'm dealing with this new environment that is different from where I grew up, and at the same time also asking my brain to just do a lot more than it was used to in high school. So it was a transition, but giving it time and talking to my friends and the faculty and just realizing everybody in college is going through the same thing, that was really helpful. And then just like really appreciating all of the strengths of this place. After freshman year, I was like, that's it, I love it here.